Oh, there's going to be some big problems on that show. Happy July 4th, everybody. Check it out.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show. Thanks for staying with us. So here we are today with Susan Dost, and we're talking about care, hiring care. You know, there's 67 million Americans providing $360 billion a year in free care and services for a loved one with no formal training. So, Susan, why isn't anybody asking for help?
Right. Where do they find help? You know, you have in-home supportive services if you're below a certain income, but that's going bankrupt. You know, there's no program for Medicare that pays for companion care.
Right. Right. We're going to have to do something about that.
Right.
What advice do you have for families to avoid living in crisis? Because it seems that when people are looking for help, they're so deep into the crisis that they've really lost their way. I mean, I have theories on this, but
yeah, they've lost their way because there's no one out there educating them. They don't even know where to turn.
They can go to my website, empoweredcare.com, and there's a ton of information there.
Right. And people like you who facilitate information. So you're a concierge service, and so you can say, okay, here, this hospice company or this,
right.
You know, people like you, I mean, that's so needed. Education right now.
Right. But so if people are just starting this, how do you think they avoid living in crisis? I mean, I'm always about getting the home safe and...
Right. I think, you know, the internet is the best source. I mean, if they start Googling, you know, how do I find care? There's, you know, a company called A Place for Mom.
Yes.
I mean, that will come up. So they'll provide resources, free resources for you. If you want an assisted living facility, you know, they would do all the homework and legwork for you based on geographics, food, budget.
Right. But Susan and I want to encourage you not to do assisted living if you don't have to.
Right. I'm on the Place for Mom list. So, you know, it's first. Yeah. I mean, staying at home, you know, and implementing first things first. You're right. Safety in the home, the rugs, you know, a lot of.
Oh, seniors are married to their throw rugs. Have you noticed this?
Yes. And seniors are also married to the gravitational pull of the earth that pulls them down and they break their hip.
Yes.
I mean, that's the number one.
But it doesn't matter if these throw rugs came from an exotic country or Target. They're just married to them.
Right. So, yeah, when we do an assessment, we look around the home and we say, okay, let's move this electrical extension cord. Let's tape down this rug. Let's get a ramp in here. Let's avoid this. So, you know, just to make the home safe, a shower chair, grab bars.
Yeah. I want to say that on my website, I have actually created an Elder Proof Your Home scavenger hunt. And you can sign up for our free e-zine. You get that as a bonus. And it takes you room by room, even out to the garage. So we've done that work for you.
That's genius.
Yeah. Elder Proof Your Home scavenger hunt. That's what it is.
It is.
Go on a scavenger hunt. Get your kids involved in making your loved one's home safe. I'm a big advocate for that. Let's talk about these veterans programs, because this is really important information.
Mm-hmm. It's not that popular because people don't really understand it. And if you are a veteran or a surviving spouse of a veteran, or if you are a couple, there is a program called Aid and Attendance. And the Veterans Care Coordination taps into the pension of a veteran. So all the veteran has to do is present their DD-214, which is their discharge papers, fax it over or send it over to us. We send it to the National VA Records in Missouri to figure out if they qualify.
And there is a financial qualification, right?
There's a financial qualification, but if you have your money set up where this program excludes your largest asset, which is your home, and it will exclude the value of your vehicle.
Right.
So they deduct all that. And then you do have to have a certain amount. You can't exceed a certain amount of money, but that is easily figured out if you have a trust in place.
Right.
And that's where, you know, an elder care attorney would come in, figure out, you know, where to allocate your money so that you can free up that benefit to you.
So there is some legwork that goes into finding out about this, but it's well worth it.
It's well worth it, but we do all that for you.
Oh, well, so Sheridan Care does that for you.
Absolutely. We'll facilitate all of the paperwork for that. If you have long-term care insurance, which I'm a huge advocate
yeah.
of.
Yeah.
I have a policy.
I think it's way more important actually than life insurance.
Right. Right.
Because we're living so much longer and, it's quality of life. So, yeah, I'm a huge proponent of that as well. I
Good.
think it's really, really important. What is Sheridan Academy?
Training. The Sheridan Academy is training. So, as we talked earlier about training, it's so important that a caregiver be knowledgeable about disease-specific areas. So, if we have a client who has Parkinson's, we have a training program for Parkinson's, arthritis, stroke, Alzheimer's, and dementia.
Do you teach this? Who teaches this?
We do.
You teach it.
Well, I do. I've taught several classes, but I'm not the best at it, I will say.
I don't believe that for a second.
But we do. Yvonne Gardner, also the vice president, she puts on the course. Every month we have CPR and first aid, and we have classes ongoing. So every caregiver in our company has to be CPR and first aid certified.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing. I'm so glad you brought that up because I don't think most families ask
Right.
if a caregiver is CPR and first aid trained. I mean, that seems like a no-brainer to me, but...
Right. Well, it's job security. I always tell my caregivers, you have to know CPR because you keep your client alive.
Right. And, but also that they understand, they know CPR, but they also know to call 911.
Right.
So there's a fine line there,
Right.
like we're not going to be performing CPR while somebody's, on the
Exactly.
ground.
And during the assessment, we develop that protocol. So we ask the family, what do you want to do? What's the proper protocol in case of emergency?
Right.
So if someone is a DNR,
Right.
we follow that.
Which is do not resuscitate for
Right.
people who don't know the in lingo here
Right.
among the caregiving world. So, okay, so your caregivers go through this whole academy. Are there any other agencies that you know of out there that are doing that?
I will say no, but there may be, only because I'm really competitive.
But I know that if someone's listening to us, say in Nebraska, you're also very well connected across the United States, right?
I am.
You have little tentacles out there. So someone could call you
Absolutely.
if they just don't know where to go.
Absolutely. I'm part of a network called The Senior's Choice, and those are companies that are not franchises, which I'm absolutely against. But yes, they can call, and it is important to find a caregiver who is trained and find that company who is training those caregivers.
Okay, I got to take a quick break. You're listening to the Cindy Laverty Show. I'll be right back.